In Zen and Buddhist philosophy, nothing in life is random, including love, relationships, and the person you marry. The idea that you simply fall in love with someone by chance is not a belief held by Eastern spiritual traditions. Instead, they teach that every connection is a karmic event, shaped by your past actions, your present level of consciousness, and the lessons your soul needs to learn. Marriage, from a Buddhist perspective, is not just a union of two people, but a sacred mirror, reflecting your inner world, your unresolved issues, and your hidden potentials. The person you choose or are drawn to is often not who your ego wants, but who your soul needs. Marriage is often romanticized in the West as the final goal of love, but in Buddhism and Zen, it's seen more as the beginning of a deeper inner journey. The person you marry is your greatest teacher, chosen by the laws of karma, not necessarily to bring you comfort, but to bring you clarity. Through them, your wounds, attachments, and spiritual blind spots are exposed. And as you grow together, or apart, you are offered opportunity after opportunity to evolve. This perspective invites us to stop blaming, resenting, or idealizing our partners, and instead look inward. Why did I attract this kind of person? What are they here to teach me? What unresolved energy from past lives or past patterns am I trying to complete through this relationship? These are the kinds of questions Buddhism urges us to explore. In this video, we'll unpack the karma of marriage through 9 powerful insights rooted in Zen and Buddhist teachings. You'll never look at love or your partner the same way again. Ready to awaken? Let's dive in. 1. Marriage is not random. From a Buddhist and Zen standpoint, the idea that you meet your spouse by sheer chance is a misunderstanding of the deeper laws of existence. In truth, who you marry is deeply karmic. That means your relationship is the result of countless causes and conditions, both seen and unseen, that you've created, accumulated, or carried over from previous lives. Karma is not punishment or reward. It's simply the energetic echo of your actions, intentions, and consciousness. You may feel like you chose your partner because they were attractive, kind, funny, or familiar. But Buddhism suggests there are unconscious forces at work beneath the surface of every attraction. You are drawn to people who resonate with your current karmic vibration, those who activate unresolved emotions, repeat familiar patterns, or help you grow spiritually. Sometimes that growth feels beautiful and expansive. Other times it's painful and confrontational. Either way, the purpose is awakening. When two people come together in marriage, their karmic threads are entangled. These threads can include joy but also suffering, unfinished business from past lives or this one. Perhaps you owed each other something. Perhaps there was betrayal, loyalty, love, or abandonment in another form. Marriage becomes the container where all that karma plays out, not to hurt you, but to liberate you. Zen teaches us to sit with life as it is, not to escape it or judge it, but to observe it with clarity and presence. That's exactly what marriage asks of us. When triggers arise when your partner confuses or hurts you, a spiritual practitioner doesn't run or blame. Instead, they ask, what is this moment showing me about my mind, my patterns, my wounds? Understanding that marriage is not random transforms how we engage with it. You're not stuck with the wrong person. You're in a relationship that was meant to awaken something dormant within you. When you embrace that, your marriage becomes a sacred dojo, where the soul trains through love, conflict, and compassion. 2. Your partner is your mirror. In Zen, one of the most powerful teachings is that everything in your external world is a reflection of your internal state. Your spouse, more than anyone else, becomes a living, breathing mirror of your consciousness. Your fears, your desires, your unresolved trauma, and even your divine potential. This mirroring is not always comfortable. In fact, it's often the exact opposite. But it is sacred. When you experience joy with your partner, that joy is showing you the parts of yourself that are open, present, and capable of love. But when you feel triggered, abandoned, angry, or unseen, your partner isn't creating those feelings. They're revealing them. These emotional wounds were already there, buried deep in your subconscious. The closeness of marriage simply brings them to the surface. According to Buddhist psychology, the ego's first response is to project. If you're feeling unloved, you blame your partner for not giving enough. If you feel controlled, you accuse them of being overbearing. But the Zen path asks you to go inward. Why do I feel this way? Where have I felt this before? What story am I carrying that this person is activating? Your partner may reflect parts of you that you admire, or parts of you that you've rejected. If they are calm, perhaps you are being invited into a deeper presence. If they are chaotic, perhaps your own internal chaos is being exposed. Zen doesn't judge what appears in the mirror. It simply teaches you to see it clearly. This mirroring effect is why marriage can feel so intense. It's not because you're broken or incompatible. It's because your soul is being shown its own image, moment after moment. And in that image lies the key to your liberation. Every argument is a reflection. Every irritation is a teaching. Every sweet moment is grace. When you start to approach marriage as a mirror, your whole perspective shifts. Instead of trying to change your partner, you begin transforming yourself. That's when the real spiritual work begins. And it's also when the deepest love starts to bloom. Third, karmic lessons in love. In Buddhist teachings, karma is not a system of rewards and punishments. It's a curriculum. Every soul is enrolled in a lifelong school, and your spouse is one of your most important teachers. That doesn't mean they're perfect or wiser than you. It means they're perfectly placed to help you learn the exact spiritual lessons your soul needs right now. Each partner brings their own karmic load to the relationship. Sometimes this results in harmony, shared values, mutual respect, a natural flow. Other times it creates friction. But even conflict can be a sacred tool for growth. In fact, Buddhism teaches that the people who trigger you the most often carry your most important karmic lessons. You may be learning patience, forgiveness, emotional regulation, or how to set healthy boundaries. You may be learning how to receive love after years of self-protection. Or perhaps you're being shown how to let go of control, ego, or unrealistic expectations. Whatever the lesson, it's not abstract. It shows up in the everyday, through dishes left in the sink, miscommunications, power struggles, and moments of silence. Zen encourages full awareness of these moments, not to fix them quickly or react impulsively, but to see them clearly and recognize their deeper message. This isn't about being passive or accepting toxic behavior. It's about understanding that the situation is not just happening to you. It's for you, as a teaching. Sometimes karmic relationships are temporary. They come into your life like a fire, intense, consuming, and transformative. Once the lesson is learned, they may dissolve. Other times, the bond deepens as both partners grow together. The key is to remain awake and receptive, rather than resisting what's unfolding. In the West, love is often viewed as a fairy tale. But in Zen and Buddhism, love is a classroom. And marriage? That's the masterclass. Your partner is not just someone to enjoy life with. They're someone who helps you wake up to your highest self. When you understand the lesson, the pain starts to soften. The heart opens. The karma begins to clear. The illusion of the one. In modern culture, we're sold the idea that there's one perfect person out there for us. The one. This myth is reinforced in movies, music, and fairy tales. But Zen and Buddhist teachings invite us to let go of that illusion. There is no single, preordained soulmate floating out there in the cosmos. Instead, there are many people with whom you can have meaningful, transformative, karmic relationships, depending on your level of awareness, intention, and karma. The belief in the one often creates unnecessary suffering. People become disillusioned when their partner doesn't meet their ideal. They feel like they've made a mistake, missed their true match, or settled. But Buddhism teaches that no one completes you, and no relationship can save you from your own inner work. The person you're with is not perfect. They are your mirror, your lesson, and your path to awakening. What draws you to someone is often not just chemistry, it's karma. Sometimes the person who challenges you the most is more beneficial for your soul than someone who brings ease and comfort. That doesn't mean you should stay in harmful relationships, but it does mean that difficulty is not a sign of failure. It might be the sign of a deep karmic process unfolding. Zen also reminds us that grasping for perfection is itself a form of suffering. When we fixate on how things should be, we miss the beauty of what is. Your partner, with all their flaws and gifts, is not a mistake. They are part of your path. The question is not, did I marry the right person? But am I being the right partner? Am I learning, growing, seeing clearly? When we drop the fantasy of the one, we begin to truly meet the person in front of us. We listen better. We judge less. We open to the sacredness of the moment instead of chasing a future ideal. That's when true love, rooted in presence, compassion, and clarity, can begin to grow. 5. Attraction is karma at work. Attraction isn't just about physical beauty or charming personalities, at least not in the realm of Zen and Buddhist thought. What we call chemistry is often a sign of deeper karmic ties. That intense pull you feel toward someone? It's likely rooted in old energies resurfacing. Attachments, debts, unfinished emotional business, or deep soul contracts from past lives. Buddhism teaches that karma doesn't disappear. It ripens when the conditions are right. And one of the clearest ways karma ripens is through our attractions. You may be magnetically drawn to someone who later challenges you, confuses you, or even hurts you. Not because you're doomed, but because your soul is seeking resolution. There's something to be healed, acknowledged, or released. Attraction often bypasses logic. You may know someone isn't good for you, yet you can't resist. Or you may overlook someone kind and present because your karma isn't ready for that kind of peace. Zen encourages us to pause and reflect when we feel drawn to someone. What is this attraction really pointing to? What is it awakening or reactivating inside me? This doesn't mean that all attraction is problematic. On the contrary, some karmic connections are deeply healing. You might be drawn to someone because they carry a medicine your soul needs. Their calm may soothe your chaos. Their directness may challenge your avoidance. Their love may help you open where you've been closed. But the point is, it's not random. Attraction is energy recognizing energy. It's not just personality aligning, it's vibration, karma, and even unfinished business aligning for the purpose of growth. You might have loved this person in another lifetime, or hurt them, or promised to meet again. Understanding this helps us become more conscious in relationships. Instead of blindly following every spark, we can approach attraction with awareness. We can ask, is this attraction leading me toward healing or back into a loop? Am I here to repeat or to release? When we see attraction through a karmic lens, we become less reactive and more intentional. We stop chasing love as high and begin walking with it as a path. 6. Conflict as a spiritual tool. Most people view conflict in a relationship as a sign that something is wrong. But in Zen and Buddhist philosophy, conflict is not a failure. It's a profound teacher. In fact, the friction between two people is often the very fire that burns away illusion, ego, and old karma. It's not meant to break you, but to awaken you. When conflict arises in a marriage, it's usually not about the surface issue: dishes, tone of voice, or forgotten birthdays. Beneath the surface, there's a deeper emotional or karmic charge waiting to be seen. Your partner may be touching an old wound from childhood, echoing a dynamic from a past life, or simply reflecting back a part of yourself you haven't fully accepted. In Buddhism, everything is seen as an opportunity to wake up, including tension. Conflict shows us where we are attached, where we are reactive, and where we are still clinging to control or expectation. It reveals our patterns. For example, do you shut down when you're hurt? Do you explode? Do you withdraw love as punishment? All of these are unconscious habits that conflict can help illuminate. Zen teaches us not to avoid or suppress conflict, but to meet it with mindfulness. That means observing your feelings without letting them control you, listening deeply without preparing your rebuttal, and choosing to respond rather than react. This is not easy, but it is sacred work. When approached consciously, conflict becomes a mirror for both partners. It can create deeper understanding, vulnerability, and even intimacy. You learn to speak from truth rather than blame. You discover how to hold space for your partner's pain while owning your own. And through this mutual effort, karma begins to dissolve. Conflict also teaches non-attachment. When we argue, it's often because we're attached to being right, being heard, being validated. But Buddhism reminds us that attachment is the root of suffering. Releasing that grip, even a little, can transform a heated moment into a breakthrough. So next time you're in a disagreement, try asking, what is this trying to teach me? Where am I resisting growth? Can I see this as a gateway rather than a wall? This is how marriage becomes not just a relationship, but a real spiritual path. 7. Past lives, present partners. In Buddhist belief, relationships don't begin in this lifetime. They're continuations of stories written long ago. The person you're married to now may have walked beside you in many forms: a lover, a rival, a parent, or even an enemy. The connection you feel, whether peaceful or turbulent, often stems from karmic imprints created in previous lives. And now, in this life, you've met again. Not by coincidence, but because the karma is ready to ripen. This doesn't mean you're doomed to relive the past. Quite the opposite. A marriage built on karmic ties is a powerful chance to heal what was left unresolved. Perhaps in a past life there was betrayal, and in this one, you're learning trust. Perhaps there was loss, and now you're learning how to stay. These patterns don't always appear in obvious ways. They're felt intuitively, emotionally, and energetically. Zen rarely focuses on storytelling or speculation about past lives. It stays rooted in the present moment. But understanding the concept of rebirth helps us become more compassionate and less reactive. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? We begin to wonder, what am I being invited to complete? What can I release now so it doesn't follow me into another life? Your partner may trigger deep, unexplainable emotions. There's a reason for that. Their soul knows yours. And the intensity of your relationship may be the fire required to burn through old karmic chains. That's why some relationships feel destined, even if they're not always easy. Buddhism invites us to approach these connections with humility and presence. Whether you feel harmony or hardship, your partner is not new. They are part of your soul's long journey. And in this life, you've been given a rare chance to meet again and to choose healing. 8. Detachment, not disconnection. One of the most misunderstood teachings in Buddhism is the concept of detachment. Many people believe it means withdrawing from love, shutting down emotionally, or avoiding commitment. But true detachment, especially in marriage, is not about disconnection. It's about freedom from clinging. It means loving fully without trying to possess, control, or depend on your partner for your sense of self. In marriage, attachment often shows up as neediness, jealousy, or fear of loss. We grasp at the idea that our partner should always make us feel secure, validated, or happy. But Buddhism teaches that all things, including people and feelings, are impermanent. Your spouse will change. You will change. And if your happiness is rooted in things staying the same, suffering is inevitable. Detachment allows love to breathe. It lets your partner be who they are without forcing them to meet your every emotional demand. It means being present with them without clinging to how they used to be or fearing how they might change. It's not coldness. It's clarity. Zen emphasizes interbeing, the idea that we are deeply connected but not dependent. You can walk beside someone with open-hearted love while still being grounded in your own wholeness. You're not using them to complete you. You're choosing to share the path. And if life takes you in different directions, you can release it with grace instead of bitterness. This kind of love is rare, but it's powerful. When you detach from your expectations, you begin to actually see your partner. You listen better. You suffer less. You appreciate them more. In the end, detachment doesn't mean less love. It means deeper love. Love that isn't clouded by grasping or fear. Love that is awake. 9. Marriage as a path to awakening. In Zen and Buddhist traditions, the highest purpose of any relationship, especially marriage, is spiritual awakening. While love, companionship, and shared experiences are beautiful aspects of marriage, Buddhism teaches that the ultimate goal is not just happiness, but enlightenment. A marriage rooted in this understanding becomes a powerful path towards self-awareness and inner peace. In many ways, marriage is like a spiritual practice. It's a living, breathing meditation that invites you to confront your own ego, attachments, fears, and limitations. Your partner, through their presence and actions, becomes your mirror, reflecting back everything you need to see about yourself. This process is not always comfortable, but it is deeply transformative. The challenges and struggles that arise in marriage are opportunities to practice mindfulness, patience, and compassion. When you feel anger or frustration toward your partner, Zen asks you to pause and become aware of the emotions arising within you. Instead of reacting impulsively, you are invited to observe them with clarity, to inquire into their roots, and to respond from a place of wisdom rather than instinct. Through this practice, you begin to shed layers of ego and illusion. You realize that the ultimate source of your happiness is not your partner, but your own inner state of being. In this way, marriage becomes a mirror not just for your personal karma, but for the true nature of existence. It reveals the interconnectedness of all things, the impermanence of life, the futility of attachment, and the profound peace that comes with acceptance. When both partners commit to this path of awakening, marriage becomes a sacred journey, a shared pilgrimage toward enlightenment. Together, you are not just building a life, but cultivating wisdom, compassion, and a deeper connection to the divine within and around you. Understanding the karma of marriage from a Zen and Buddhist perspective opens up a world of wisdom and possibility. Marriage is not just a union of two people. It is a dynamic, spiritual path that invites both partners to evolve, heal, and awaken. Whether through joy or struggle, attraction or conflict, every aspect of the relationship is part of a greater karmic unfolding. By seeing your partner as a mirror, you understand that every emotional response, every trigger, every moment of connection is a reflection of your inner world. The challenges you face together are not signs of failure, but opportunities for growth. Lessons designed to awaken you to your highest potential. When we stop looking for the one and instead embrace the idea that anyone we marry is a karmic teacher, our relationships become more meaningful. We stop placing unrealistic expectations on our partners and start looking inward, realizing that the real work of marriage is not in changing the other, but in transforming ourselves. Conflict becomes less a battle to win and more a sacred opportunity for insight and healing. Detachment doesn't mean withdrawing, but freeing ourselves from expectations and allowing love to be more fluid and truer. Ultimately, marriage is not about finding someone to make us whole. It's about sharing a journey of awakening. As we walk this path with our partner, we uncover the deeper truths of life, love, and our own soul's journey. The person you marry is not an accident. They are a mirror, a teacher, and a companion on your spiritual journey. When you approach marriage as a sacred karmic practice, you begin to see it not just as a relationship, but as an ongoing opportunity for personal and spiritual growth. With this awareness, your marriage becomes not only a source of joy, but a pathway to enlightenment. Thank you for exploring the profound teachings of marriage and karma. May you continue to awaken to the deep wisdom within your relationships, and may your journey be filled with love and clarity.